today marks 1 year since CoinDesk published a scoop that raised questions about the sturdiness of crypto hedge fund Alameda Research, and by extension, how safe Alameda Research's sister company FTX was. 9 days after the story, both companies were in bankruptcy court. Joining us now to reflect on the last year is the journalist who penned the story on November 2nd, 2022, CoinDesk senior reporter Ian Allison. Welcome to the show, Ian.
Hello.
All right, Ian, Sam Bankman-Fried is facing criminal charges in court as we speak. We're expecting closing arguments. Did you anticipate the events would unfold as they did when you were writing the story?
No, not at all. We didn't expect that. I mean, I knew it was a scoop, but it wasn't until a few days later that it really sort of exploded. So no, the answer is we didn't really know. We just it was a scoop, but we didn't know it was going to cause a catastrophe, to the crypto empire.
Let's remind our viewers about that scoop, the crux of your story. You received a balance sheet from a confidential source. Talk us through the story. Give us a little reminder about what you wrote about.
Yeah, well, I was trying to find out how much, the extent to which Alameda was using FTT as collateral, to borrow other cryptos. That was initially kind of part of what I was trying to find out. And also, I'd heard that it was weaker than people generally thought, Alameda, that is. So that was originally what I was doing. I just sort of spoke to a bunch of people who were kind of counterparties to Alameda, and that was how that all came about. And we eventually we got this balance sheet that was and that was good because it was pretty up to date. I'd had some other FTX documents that were private documents, but they were very sort of older ones. They were kind of a couple of years out of date. So we thought that it was great to get this balance sheet, and it just became apparent, that there was an awful lot of FTT on the balance sheet. It was a huge red flag, and that was how that all happened.
Did your sources have any idea of the gravity of the information they were sharing at the time?
No, not at all. And I think this is an important point because there's been lots of conspiracy sort of theories about this was orchestrated by, I've heard all sorts of things of our parent company, Digital Currency Group, Binance, for example. This was totally not the case. I mean, I can tell you honestly that the sources, I've just spoken to a few people, that, they were as surprised as I was. And, the person that sent the balance sheet was, they kind of sent me a link to the FTX wallets kind of emptying in real time and said, this is really catastrophic. I don't think this is going to be okay for them. Please, we never had this conversation. You never spoke to me. All that. So they didn't know. They just to be clear about that, it wasn't some sort of, it was not a conspiracy theory, as some people have said.
From your perspective as a journalist, talk to me about how the industry has changed in the last year since you've published the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose people are like, oh, the SEC have come in very hard and clamped down, and I can sort of understand how they would do that because it's sort of this kind of happened, some of it on their watch, and they had to react. I do think it's been really bad for crypto. I'm pro crypto. I like work for CoinDesk, and I just hope that a lot of firms haven't pulled back, and I cover sort of institutional stuff quite a lot, and I hope that a lot of firms haven't decided that they're not going to continue what they were doing with crypto because of all of this, because there was some reports about that had happened. Maybe some of the large market makers had pulled back a little bit, and they're very important for providing all the liquidity. I think the BlackRock ETF will probably bring a lot of people back in anyway when that hopefully happens. But yeah, I guess the other thing to say is that a lot of people say this, it's good for the industry to clean out bad things, bad actors and stuff. But overall, yeah, I was it was pretty dismayed by the fallout.
And Ian, just to round up the conversation here, how regulators responded to the industry, I know that's the beat that you cover, in the past year.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, they've gone for the knee-jerk sort of reaction. I understand why they would do that. I mean, you hope that there's not going to be more, catastrophes, bankruptcies, etc. I mean, I would say that, Sam Bankman-Fried, who, I don't think he's maybe the guy that's been most obviously punished, but I don't think he's not the only guy that's covered up, what he's trying to do. Maybe used a bit of money that he shouldn't have to plug some holes. He's just the one that hasn't managed to, lawyer up and cover up his tracks very well. So there's, it's good that the system is getting cleaned out. It's maybe, I would just say he's not the only sort of one. There's probably quite a few people out there that are got away with doing all sorts of things. But anyway, leaving that side.
Ian, thanks so much for joining us this morning and reflecting on the past year. As always, we look forward to reading more of your reporting.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thank you.
That was CoinDesk senior reporter Ian Allison.